Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday. I hope this video finds you well. I just wanted to come on for a quick moment with a quick message. It may not be so quick today. So, since today is Friday, I decided to share one of my favorite things. And one of my favorite things to do is to read. So, today I'm going to actually share a great book that I read last year. And it's called The Afrominimalist Guide to Living with Less. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I am not a minimalist, but I have become more aware of the things I have since we've had this pandemic in 2020. And I guess it's just because we've had to be more so in the house. Now, even now that it's reopened up, I've heard that there's been, an increase in cases and everything. But I think just having to be home since 2020, I started to look at my closet more because I wasn't wearing those clothing. It was my normal work clothes and they were office clothes. But if you were like me, we were at the house. So I was leaning more toward athleisure wear. I was wearing all of my yoga pants, all of my Adidas stuff, my Nike stuff. But my office wear that I would normally wear Monday through Friday was just sitting there. And so now fast forward to 2023, a lot of it is still sitting there. And it's because some of it I just can't fit because I gained weight and I'm having to work out and get it off. But also because I'm not 100% sure that it aligns with me anymore. My style of dress, I feel, has kind of shifted. I still want it to be cute and dressed up, but I don't want to be, I don't know a good word for stuffy. I don't want it to be all these collar shirts and, it's just, I don't know. It was when I was coming into corporate after college, you had a certain look and you saw certain people excelling that dressed a certain way. So you kind of mimicked that look or that aesthetic to a point. Not 100% because you put your own flair with your accessories and, whatever else you had going on. But anyway, I digress. So I'm going to share some things from this book, but also it was so crazy because I ended up reading my devotion this morning and it aligned with what I was coming on to discuss today, and it just reconfirmed this is what I'm supposed to be talking about today. So before I went to Target this morning, I dropped off a bag at one of the donation bins, and I was going to wait on dropping it off because I wanted to go through the closets again through my own, because I had only did the kids. I did some of mine too, actually. But anyway, it reconfirmed that, yes, let's discuss this. So let me first start off by sharing my devotional I read this morning. September 15th. And this is a devotional by Joyce Meyer, My Time with God. And it says here, sharing with others. And he replied to them, he who has 2 tunics, undergarments, let him share with him who has none. And he who has food, let him do it the same way. There are millions of needy people in the world. It is my opinion that we should not hang on to things we are not using, just in case we ever happen to need them. There may be some things that belong in that category, but most of us have hundreds of things stored in closets and on shelves that have not been used in a long time. And even if we need them, we probably would not know where they are. Why not pass those things on to someone in need and trust God to give us what we need when we need it? Pack up the clothes and shoes you are not wearing and all other usable items and take them to a church or organization that will distribute them for you. When we are generous, I believe God smiles. Speak this. I will give to those in need in the same way I would want someone to give to me if I were in need. So when I read this, when I got back from doing a drop off this morning in the Target parking lot at it wasn't Goodwill. I can't remember the name that was on the box, but I was like, wow, I probably need to go back through my closets again because there's probably more in there since I just kind of packed some of that stuff up because, I haven't really been wearing it because I could not fit it. But my hope was to get back into some of it because I am working out. But anyway, that made me think about my book that I have been reading about minimalism. And I know it became a really big thing at one point. I can't remember the name of the book that came out. I can't remember the name of it. But I remember it was a big deal when it came out and everybody was, going through the list of things to say whether or not to do it. But anyway, I was like, it's really important to know the why behind the buy. Is it truly a need? Is it a want? Or is it just something you're adding to the closet or to the house, to the kitchen, Because I have a George Foreman grill right now that I was like, I haven't used this George Foreman grill. I used to use it all the time. I haven't been using it. Crock pot. Haven't been using it. I use the air fryer every day though. So I wanted to start off with this part because I know why I accumulated certain things because I've been different sizes and different time frames. And then also because at my job, I wanted to make sure that I appeared professional, that I didn't continue to wear baby fat when I was younger. I was, when I was younger, that's what was in style. So I may wear a cute baby fat shirt when I shouldn't have been wearing that to my job, apparently, if I wanted to be taken seriously. So let me get into it. On page 39, she says, many of our habits and behaviors are extensions of our childhood experiences. Others are the results of cultural and societal pressures and expectations trying to keep up with the Joneses or mindless consumption. Regardless, the end result is the same. These factors and other contribute to us having more than what we need. Then she goes into this. There's a psychology of ownership, and in particular, the need to feel in control. Now, when she said that, the need to feel in control, I never purchased with the thought that I needed to feel in control. And I never even thought about it being something to do with wanting to own something. I just figured, you know, this is how I need to dress for this position. This is how I need to dress to get ahead. And in addition to that, I began to notice that my cute clothing I used to love to buy from the Body Shop and other places like that, the rainbows, they weren't lasting me until the next year. I was washing them and then they weren't going very far. So for me, in my head, it was about I need to also have quality. So I would start to replace those things that began to tear up anyway. So I thought this was an interesting quote as well. And the quote is by Aaron Trent Johnson. Black conspicuous consumption comes from a deep need to heal generational wounds of unworthiness and lack. This is the legacy of white supremacy. We are predisposed to want things and stuff because of the internalization of beliefs that we are not enough. Until we are liberated from that mindset. Now, that quote, like I said, is by Aaron Trent Johnson. It says MPA CPC. And it really sat with me because even though when I bought certain things, I didn't buy it thinking I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. But I did buy it with the expectation that this is going to help me in my career. This is going to help me be viewed a certain way by my peers, because I was very young, many times the only one of the few Black young women. And so I wanted to come with more than just credentials. I wanted to have the look, to look the part as well, to be taken serious by my peers. But I never, thought like, oh, wow. I feel like I'm not enough. And so at the end, she goes on to say here, outsourcing our sense of self-worth to our belongings can result in a vicious cycle of always feeling less than because we can never have enough. Allowing others to judge us based on what we have or don't have coincidentally results in us judging ourselves. You will never be satisfied chasing after the next few things because once you acquire it, there will always be something new. And I think for her, she looks at things and she likes to go through and say, do I need this? Will I use this? Do I love this? Which need is interesting because, you know, that can be perception. And I wanted to share this one last part. Where is it? I didn't want the video to be very long. So, okay, yeah. So for this last part, I want to share. Well, actually, I'm lying. Second part. Almost though. She says, for the culture. Ownership is an especially complicated matter for people of the African diaspora. From our ancestors being stolen and once owned as property, to our need to have things so that we feel in control of something in our lives. Black people have a different, deeper relationship with our belongings. Additionally, our communities are still grappling with generational implications and inequities resulting from slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, and other state-sanctioned limitations on ownership. Without a doubt, our familiar and collective histories continue to influence why we are so attached to our things. Black people and other marginalized groups must understand the powerful connection between the psychology of ownership and the false sense of security it often provides. Our desire to seek comfort in things is heightened when we live in a society where we constantly feel unsafe, at risk. Take special note of areas in your life where your attachments to and unwillingness to let go of certain things may be rooted less in the culture of consumerism and more in the culture of white supremacy. Although making such acknowledgments can be difficult and even painful, this work is necessary, not only for your minimalist practice, but also for your survival and that of our communities. If our resources are used to purchase things for comfort instead of building a generational wealth, we run the risk of not only remaining victims of systemic oppression, but even worse, contributing to it. And you know, I've heard of retail therapy, and I thought, oh my gosh, I never thought of buying it something, you know, whatever, a t-shirt, whatever, as comforting. So it's so funny, this morning I ran to Target to pick up a couple of items, and when I was walking to the back, they have all their fall things out, and I thought about this book because I had pulled it out the other day to just look it over because I have all my stickies and stuff in it. And there was a shirt I really loved that was in there. I really liked it, and it was I think it said like self-love, and it had like discipline, confidence, and it had little things on there, little sayings. And I was like, ooh, I really like this shirt. I mean, maybe I'll get this sweatshirt, this pullover. And I said, let me see how much it is. It's like $22. And I was like, oh, that's nothing. But then I thought about the book, and I thought about the bag I just donated, and I thought about my closet, and I said, you know what? I really like this white sweatshirt with these words of encouragement and empowerment and positivity, but I'm not gonna buy it because I don't need it. I may not use it, and I say that because I had remembered a black shirt I bought, I think it was earlier this year or last year. It was a sweatshirt, and I still had a tag on it. I hadn't even wore it, but I loved the saying on it. And I'm gonna wear it this year because it's still sitting. And I was like, I didn't even wear that sweatshirt. So I was like, no, I can't have it. I'm not buying it. I want my money to go somewhere else, into an investment, into something that's going to help build, and not into Target. Target's doing well. Everybody loves Target. I mean, the Starbucks line was back, people love Target. So I'm going to end it with this. She said that there are so many benefits to minimalism and how it's, helped her. So she says here, less has been liberation for her. Having less and cutting back has helped her live a more fulfilling life. Choosing to embrace the practice of minimalism has afforded her the time to write, to nap, to daydream, and it has allowed her to create a life that she loves, one that's full of passion and purpose. She can now choose her projects with intention rather than accepting work just for a means to an end and to maintain a lifestyle. She says here is a way to liberate yourself from things that no longer serve you and behaviors that do not benefit you. And then also for the expectations that do not align with your personal mission and vision. And if I'm remembering correctly, she got into minimalism because she got a divorce. And so the lifestyle she had initially with her ex-husband was not one she could comfortably maintain once she divorced with her daughter. And so when she moved back into her rental property that she had, it was a smaller one. She decided in order to live comfortably, she would need to cut back, and she poured through her closets and started to say, okay, what am I doing with all this stuff? But, that's how her journey began. And before I leave, I wanted to give you a few more benefits that are backed by science that I think are very helpful. Number 1, less stress and anxiety, increased productivity and focus, increased happiness and satisfaction, deeper, more focused play, and it contributes to your inner peace. So I hope this was helpful. If you haven't had a chance, pick up this book. I gotta clean this book up. I must have had something on it. Pick this up. She has a new book out. Actually, I don't know what that one's about, but I saw her advertise it the other day on Instagram. So check it out if you have a chance. It's a really good book, and you don't have to be a minimalist to get something out of it. I'm not a minimalist, but I am starting to modify my life and get rid of things that I no longer need or don't serve me. I don't like clutter, and I find it annoying to have things stacked up. So I will be going back through my kitchen and getting rid of some things that I no longer need. Because I don't know why I have it. It's just sitting there. I used to love George Foreman grill, but I just don't use it anymore. I just don't. I air fry everything, and I mean everything, just about, except for hot dogs. But anyway, so sorry the video is long, but I just wanted to share that with you. I thought this was an amazing book. I thought it made me really think about why I buy things, and you know, how I should do things differently going in the future. So I always want my channel to be something that is able to help you think outside the box. And I think it made very valid points. And I think it can apply to all races, all cultures, not just ours. So have an amazing and a fabulous Friday. I'm about to eat lunch. I'm super hungry. And take care. Stay in peace, stay positive, stay empowered. Have a great day. Have a great weekend too. Bye-bye.